It's that time of day again for the WrestleCord news break for April 25th, 2026. And some big news coming out today from the WWE world. We had once again their yearly say goodbye to so many of the wrestlers you like. So, one of the big stories coming out of this, the entire White Six completely axed. We have Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Joe Casey, Rowan, Dexter Loomis. Some of these guys like Rowan, this is his second bout around here, just being cut off of the team. Bo Dallas, who obviously his brother Bray Wyatt, a huge part of WWE during his whole tenure, part of the Wyatt family, untimely death. Bo Dallas sitting on the sidelines for almost 5 years with WWE before they finally brought him in as Uncle Howdy, putting him as part of this White Six group. Another person, Nikki Cross, who was jumped between all kinds of characters, including her ill-fated superhero gimmick, and now all gone from the roster. I think it's really a loss for people like Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, such talent, such potential. Nikki Cross being another one of them. We also had Zoe Starks. I'm pretty shocked by this one, getting axed on the team. Alba Fire, another of the women's division, along with Selena Vega, former United States champion. We also had former women's tag team champion and Kairi Sane being gone. This again, another one of those is her second time around being let go by the company. She originally left in December of 2021, and then came back in November 2023. So 2 years there, almost completely gone from the WWE scene. I'm quite frankly really excited to see her back in Stardom, or maybe even show up in AEW. I think that women's roster could actually use a little more. It's such a great roster, but I think it is a little thin with the addition of the women's tag team belts, and people like Mercedes Moné not being on TV, Toni Storm not being on TV right now. Jamie Hayter's out with an injury, which it looks like she posted on social media will be just a small injury. She said in a week or so she should be fine to go. So I'm super excited to see the former AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter back in action. But more on these layoffs. So we have on top of that Apollo Crews, who spent almost a decade with WWE, now getting the axe. We also have Tyson DuPont, Dante Chen, Santos Escobar. And I think the three of the biggest people getting axed from this are Aleister Black, who only returned just 1 year ago after leaving AEW in February of last year, showing up in WWE in April. Already, April 2026, he is gone from the roster. Honestly, I really hope he heads back to AEW. I hope we get to see more of the House of Black, and I hope he has maybe learned a lesson here about how grass is not always greener on the other side. I think with Triple H taking over the creative, he thought that he had a lot of success in NXT, that he would get more of that success with Triple H at the helm. That certainly did not happen. And another one that I think is a huge let go by WWE is the Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, two of the best tag team wrestlers in the industry of all time, honestly. Champions everywhere they've been, and now saying goodbye to WWE, unceremoniously being let go. I also thought it was interesting, Selena Vega's reaction to being let go was not frustration with WWE. It was in fact frustration with Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp, who broke this news, being upset that he didn't tell her the news. Well, quite frankly, how would he know whether she knew or not? He wouldn't. And second of all, it's not on him to tell her. I think it's very telling how these people are worried about whether they might ruffle some feathers and future employment prospects by not calling out WWE for their lack of communication to their own talent that they are firing. Instead, the media is finding out first. But so tons. I have it so far 16 wrestlers let go. I might be missing a few here. Please call me out if I have in the comments. But despite all the losses to WWE, we have some people moving up to the main roster from NXT. We talked yesterday about some of the other folks moving up. I believe that was actually maybe Wednesday we talked about that, where we had Ethan Page moving up. I'm sorry, some of these names are just getting lost in my head. It has been a very busy week going on. But some more names being called up. Two, I think, real big stars that people have been really waiting to move to this main roster. I'm kind of shocked that they ever had to be in NXT. Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints, is moving up. And also the former Ryan May, Blake Monroe, both moving to the Smackdown brand. Real interesting to see how they're going to get used in the future going forward. Also, we had a little tease for any of you big indie fans. Lucha Underground showed a video on social media, a mask sitting in the ring. It looks like we might possibly see a revival of the Lucha Underground band. I know ever since that whole experiment happened, a lot of the wrestlers involved, a lot of the fans that were following it have very warmly reminisced about that time and how innovative that company was. And looks like we might be seeing more of them. I know that a lot of the storylines involved with Lucha Underground and the characters have been, I think, very nicely interweaved within the Major League Wrestling MLW product. And so I'm not sure if this is going to be some sort of partnering with MLW, or if this is just going to be unto itself, its own promotion as it was prior. I'd be really interesting to see in what direction they will go to, with whether they're going to try to do more of a streaming, maybe YouTube free platform, or if they're maybe possibly have a TV deal in the future lined up. We also have, I think I already mentioned Jamie Hayter injury. She went to social media, said that it was no big deal and that she should be back in a week or so. So that's really nice to hear. I think super benefits the AEW Women's roster. Of course, her tag team partner in the Brawling Birds, Alex Windsor, is teaming up with Persephone tonight on tonight's episode of Collision, which was actually filmed last Wednesday. Because Jamie Hayter was not able to work due to that injury. And also, we just had last night SmackDown. We spoke about our call-ups. We had a few more call-ups in Fatal Influence. So Laney Reed, Fallon Henley, and JC James showing up during a promo which had to do with a tag team match involving the women's tag team champions. So it looks like they're now SmackDown bound for the near future. And also later on the night, we had JC Jane taking on the women's champion in Rhea Ripley, losing by DQ as her Fatal Influence comrades interfered. So looks like they're really throwing JC Jane right into sort of the deep end here with Rhea Ripley. And doing, not a clean finish for Rhea, but this sort of DQ finish definitely looks to be building for a future interaction between these two women. We also had on SmackDown Fatu defeating a relative of his in Solo Sikoa. But the biggest news, honestly, coming out of SmackDown last night being Tiffany Stratton winning the Women's United States Championship from Julia using her best moonsault ever, prettiest moonsault ever. And also we had Danhausen beating The Miz. But getting back to Tiffany Stratton, I think this is a smart move. I would actually much rather see her feud more with a Rhea Ripley and stay more at the top end of that women's division. But it's nice to see her getting some gold back. I think she looks great in gold. I think she's done great with holding the women's title before. So super excited to see what more they're going to do with Tiffany Stratton. And hopefully this isn't a downturn for Julia, who I think has been such an impressive talent. She was super impressive in Japan, and then coming to WWE, I think she has done a pretty good job on capitalizing on all of that. And then we had, like I said, we had Danhausen going over The Miz. And just speaking of Danhausen, Fanatics, who is the merchandise partner of WWE, said that they had a huge move on Danhausen merchandise over WrestleMania weekend. They were actually very surprised. They said they had to restock multiple times due to such high demand, and it looks like Danhausen is going to be added to their Fanatics Fest, which will be happening in late to mid July this coming summer. So good news for Danhausen, certainly making waves in WWE. I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm a little surprised at the success he has had, and that the company is still pushing him much on the much smaller side. Usually not who WWE looks to put really front and center of the company, but at WrestleMania, standing there alongside John Cena, they're definitely up doing this big mystery box thing and having him come out at Royal Rumble all this year. So they're certainly putting a lot of stock in the Danhausen brand, and that's very good for all the Fanhausens out there. And with all of that, we have Collision happening tonight, and then also I have not had a chance to, but will be checking out Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom, which happened early this morning for us folks on the East Coast of the United States. So a lot of exciting things going on there, and we will be covering all of that tonight in our latest edition of the WrestleCord podcast. Thank you, folks, for taking some time to check out this news break with us, and we will see you again tomorrow.